1, go. And I'll let you just go ahead and do an intro right now.
Alright, and we're back, of course, with more Age of Empires 2 tournament action. This is the Escape Gaming Elimination Draft Tournament, and now we're into the series between TaToH and TheViper. The map today is going to be Gold Rush. At the bottom of the map, we have TaToH playing as the blue Incas, and on the top side of the map, we have TheViper playing as the red Chinese. One quick thing is this is the Elimination Draft. This means the players will be able to pick a civilization from any of the 31, but every game, they lose 4. I'm Bleak co-casting today with ZeroEmpires, and now we're in the game.
Yeah, so as the tournament goes on, we're going to get these sort of bottle-of-the-barrel civilizations that nobody wants to play. Right now in round 2, we've kind of got those tier 2 civs coming through. Obviously, you know, your tier 1 civs, your god-tier civilizations, the Huns, the Mayans, the Aztecs, they're gone. They're long gone, back in round 1. And we saw some decent round 1 civs coming through as well. You know, we saw a bit of the Malians coming through. You know, we saw... God damn it! What did we see, Raz? We saw
Malay versus Malay, though. That was really good.
Oh yeah, we saw some Malay too. Now in round 2, we're going to start to see these kind of lower tier civs. Like Incas are still good, Chinese are still good, but they're not like always the first pick. And by the time we get to round 3, oh, who knows what we're going to see in round 3? Like Koreans, Teutons, Franks, Japanese, you know, the real scrapings of the bottom of the barrel. So
I noticed you didn't mention Turks, though, because that's the best civilization in the game.
Oh, I imagine the Turks were the first ban for every civ, because no one wants to play against the Turks. So they would probably I imagine we'll probably see the Turks either in round 2 or round 3 as well. And that's the point we are now in round 2. Our first matchup here being between TheViper and TaToH. The reason for that is because Viper and TaToH were the only 2 players to actually secure a win in the first round. And since this is a Swiss tournament, they will now play versus one another, while the players who drew will play against other players who drew, and the 2 players who lost will play against each other. So that's how the Swiss goes down. Anyway, TaToH here, south of the map, Incas. Viper north of the map, but in the red as the Chinese. Do you want to take a look at the maps, though? Maybe starting with the Viper up here.
Definitely, it'd be my pleasure. So, if we're taking a look at the Viper's map, on the left side, he's got a really conveniently shaped forest that actually goes all the way to the edge of the map with no holes in it. This will allow him to create a pretty nice makeshift wall-off. In fact, we already see him starting that with 2 houses. He will be able to close off the front of his base, and oh my goodness, does he have a safe back stone, a safe secondary gold. Berries to boot. This is an excellent map. He has a stone mine that's kind of a little further out, but he can even protect his front gold too if he wants. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, things not looking so good for our blue Incan friend over here. Poor TaToH will not have that easy of a wall off. He does have a safe back main gold, so it should be fine. His stone, really far out there, so his map's not bad, but I feel like the Viper just has a superior one.
Yeah, I feel like this is always the case, though. Like, Viper always gets a great map. TaToH always gets a trash map.
Yep.
This happens every time. Like, even, you know, in round 1, this was a really nice thing for TaToH, though. In round 1, he had 2 very bad maps in a row versus Doubt, and he still got the win. So TaToH has shown that, you know, even with a bad map, he can still get a win. More importantly, though, like, think back to the previous tournaments when TaToH was eliminated, because I remember a Kilimanjaro game where TaToH just had no resources near his base at all, and he was just completely screwed by minute 3. Like TC idle time, couldn't find his sheep. It was horrible. And now again, we're seeing the similar situation. Boar behind the forest. He has to loom up before he can grab it. It's completely open to the front. Meanwhile, Viper's got like natural wall-offs towards the edge of the map thanks to these tree lines. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? Some people say you make your own luck. I think Viper probably dials in some map hacks before the game starts, and he makes his own luck that way.
Take fate into your own hands the Viper way. So we're talking a little bit about these 2 civilizations you were just discussing. These are decent civs. They're not generally considered to be top priorities in the current meta, but they're pretty good. The Incas are a civilization I feel like is also pretty underrated. They were certainly terrible when The Forgotten came out, but after some numerous buffs, changing their couriers technology to giving a bonus armor to their slingers, eagle warriors, and kameyuks instead of bonus movement speed is incredible. The slinger is actually a really solid unit in terms of stats. It actually matches up quite nicely against enemy archers, and Really, that Civ's pretty solid. Chinese have a really well-rounded tech tree, great bonuses. They're even better in a team game. Chuko Nu, we all know, is an excellent unit. And overall, I feel like these two Civs are fairly evenly matched in terms of strength, so I'm curious to see what strategies we'll see from both players today. But really, the Viper's got the map if he wants to play this defensively.
Yeah, and it seems like he might consider that. He's actually walled up on the right side now, as well as sending a villager all the way over there. And whoa, look at that wall.
Whoa.
That's a pretty big wall across the front of his base. But with that wall being complete, he will actually have a full wall off. He's going up to the feudal age on 23 population, though, with 6 villagers over on the wood, with a 7th going over now. Now, if he was trying to fast castle this, we'd certainly be seeing a little bit of a different build order from him. So I do wonder what he's got up his sleeve. Maybe we're going to see a barracks coming up in just a moment for some feudal aggression. But yeah, TaToH here, barracks coming up for him. And we're thoroughly expecting some feudal aggression from TaToH here with a 22 population feudal age. Of course, as the Incas, he doesn't have a stable, so it's got to be archers and skirms. Or I guess he could make militia and men-at-arms as well. So just to throw the counterpoint in there. So militia coming out for him, but he's going to go up against a full wall off. And he doesn't really know that right now, but he's going to find out pretty soon as his Eagle Scout gets trapped within the belly of the Viper here, the belly of the beast.
Yeah, the Incas actually have a pretty solid early game with the free wall, with the free llama, and then they also get the discount on the stone cost in their buildings, and then his farm's building a little bit faster, does almost nothing, but is kind of cute. So early on, Incas are all right. Same with the Chinese. The Viper, with a really nice wall off at the front, he actually waited to do this until TaToH's scout actually passed by, so TaToH doesn't know he's walled off, and I think that he's going to be in for a rude awakening. He's going forward, though, with this tower rush, and this is something the Incas do absurdly well. So, I think, though, the main problem is that the Viper has such a good map that this is not going to work out for him. He has to be careful not to attract any wolves. He's going to lose a militia at the back. Great pickoff by the Viper. Oh. And I don't think this tower rush is going to work out. The Viper's map is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he is going to be able to get the tower up on the gold here, and TaToH does know there's gold in the back, so I think this tower is more of just a way to get in towards the Viper's base. But Viper's able to wall this up with a couple of houses straight away. Anyway, no real biggie for him. I mean, what's the tower on the wall really going to do now? There's a re-wall behind it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the Chinese as a whole, I think they're a fantastic civ. They're so versatile. They have so many options up there, up their sleeves. So I think as long as Viper defends from this tower rush quite well, I mean, it's not really a big if, but it should be something that he's got to be very, very cautious of. I think he's in a great position. Viper here adding in the scouts, you can immediately go for the counterattack with that, and in fact he might just do that right now as the 3rd scout comes out, completely circumventing this forward from TaToH, and just going to go and hit him on the stone mine, I imagine, which is way out on the right side of the base, and where I assume Viper's going to immediately head towards, which is currently just being walled up, actually. We've got a 2nd tower on the front from TaToH, a defensive tower from Viper here as well. I think Viper's feeling pretty confident that TaToH's not going to make it through these walls anytime soon.
That he isn't. So 2 great plays here by the Viper. One, putting down that preemptive watchtower over there just to make it so TaToH is going to have a harder time actually building another watchtower on the right side to deny it, a secondary wall up at the back. Also, going for scouts is fascinating. The reason he's doing this is because TaToH's map is extremely open, and the Viper knows this, and this is when scouts are best, when you can't wall up against them as an easy way to stop them. So the Viper should be able to raid this economy, pick off some villagers. Meanwhile, TaToH's own tower rush, he needs to rely on actually denying key resources from the Viper, denying a lumber camp, denying a gold mine, but he doesn't know that the Viper just has all those safe resources at the back. Now it looks like TaToH instead is opting to stonewall the Viper into his own base. That's one way to deal with it when you got such a defensive map. Nice.
What?
Nice.
Well, he's got to do something with those forward villagers, I guess. TaToH here actually, this is nice. Oh, this is really nice. He's walled in the scouts at the back, and he could just drip feed those scouts some spearmen if he likes, just to clean them up. But wow, that was a nice move. Going to trap Viper in there, completely walled them in. As long as he doesn't take this berry patch on the left, which he won't, the scouts are good for nothing right now. TaToH with this wall in, though, I mean, you know what? You know, we were talking about old times. We were just talking before the stream about how StarCraft 2 got us, got me interested in doing competitive Age of Empires 2 5 years ago. Well, one of the first videos I watched on YouTube on Age of Empires 2 was by Mr. Danish. Some of you may know him. He actually had a video, and I remember this, where one player completely walled in their opponent. They just went forward and they walled them in with stone walls, like completely around their base. We're going to see a similar strat here, and this is the second time I've seen this strat in maybe 5 years, so this is kind of cool from TaToH.
What a bizarre strategy. I can't believe... Okay, so TaToH actually boxing into the Scout Cavalry is amazing. I don't see that happen that often. And now with the stone wall... I mean, this is nice. The Viper has so few exits out of his own base that it doesn't actually cost that much stone for TaToH to do this. And then the Viper, what's he going to do? Box his own base? No map control. This is absolutely brilliant, and we've seen this happen before, I think in Escape Masters 1 or something. There was a Kamalians player in there, right? I think we've seen this before, but regardless, I like this strategy.
Not quite like this, though.
Not like on this level.
This is fantastic. So, yeah, I mean... Goodbye, map control, Viper. Goodbye. And this is brilliant. I mean, there's no way Viper's breaking through this until he reaches castle. But I mean, okay, realistically, how good is this strat? Viper sees the walls coming up, probably knows this is happening. Realistically, how good is this for TaToH? I mean, Viper can just go up to the castle edge. He knows that he's not going to be under any pressure from that. And if you look at Viper's stone, he's going to have a castle up as soon as he hits that castle age as well. So castle on the wall, he's out, no biggie.
This is when we need Kripparrian to tell us just how good is this walling strategy. The answer is, in general, I don't think it's that good. But on a map like this, on Gold Rush, I think it's very, very strong. Map control is the most important on a map like this, where almost all the gold is in the middle. So if TaToH can box in the Viper, keep him contained, and start strip mining the middle gold, he could really snowball this game out of control. The question is, will he have enough time and resources to do that? Because you're right, the Viper has his stone at the back. He's probably going to build a castle at some point, which will free him in the not too distant future. He can use petards to actually break through this wall, so TaToH's on a clock. Can he take good advantage of this map control? This is a bizarre game. I like this watchtower placement, but of course the Viper, with a defensive watchtower of his own, will deny that. Wow, I can't wait to see how this one turns out.
Yeah, Viper, I love this. He actually had an outpost here. And he saw that tower coming thanks to the outpost. That was just that was a nice little outpost right there. It's nice to see outposts being used effectively because they rarely are used at all. So that was a really, really nice little move there. And also, of course, since TaToH has got these walls up, it makes sense to get some vision. This is so funny, though. Viper's just backed into a corner. Now, if this is where you think about it like this, a toxic threat or something, you put it into a corner, you make sure it's locked up and it can't get out. That's kind of what TaToH's doing to Viper here. He's got him in this corner. He knows he can't get out. He knows when he will get out. And this gives TaToH a nice peace of mind, I guess. The thing is, though, Viper is halfway up to the castle age already. TaToH still yet to click up. He's not going to be that late in comparison. But still, I mean, he's still wide open. I don't think it's going to take Viper that much to get through these walls once he does click up to castle. Sorry, once he does hit castle age.
Yeah, and he's probably going to put down a castle, go for those 2 canoes plus petards. I think will be excellent as a way to deal with this. I mean, he's got an excellent economy set up too, and we did reduce the training time of castle age 2 canoes, which does buff this strat a little bit. There's a quarantine going on for the Viper, but you can't keep a disease locked away forever. TaToH needs to take advantage of this, and yes he is. Here comes the gold mine. He's got 4 villagers in the middle. What can he do with this time frame? You go back to TaToH's perspective, he's on his way to the castle age, but he's going to be behind by about a minute and a half. Can he make something happen in this time frame? Because the Viper's almost to the castle age.
Yeah, I mean, if you had a pet Viper at home, you would keep it in a tank, I imagine. You're not just going to let it roam free, slithering across your house, I guess. This is TaToH's house now. This is where he is. But yeah, this hasn't delayed Viper nearly enough, in my opinion. Viper here, Siege Workshop coming up, and okay, these walls might delay him by 2 minutes, 3 minutes at most. He has to get the Siege Workshop, then he has to get a ram or something. He has to maybe clean out the towers first. But it certainly bought TaToH a little bit of time to get himself to the castle age. And I mean, maybe he would have spent more stone walling his own base than he did walling Viper's. So you could look at it that way as well. If he wanted to wall his own base, how much stone would he have to spend to do that? Maybe it's about the same amount, so he may as well do it over there while he had the forward villagers. It's still quite fascinating either way. As TaToH is about to hit the castle age now, and he's got a lot of food, a lot of wood. He's even got 350 stone, so maybe we'll see a couple of TCs coming up straight away. TaToH may be feeling a little bit safe right now, feeling like he can probably just boom here until Viper breaks out through this.
What a bizarre game of Age of Empires 2. What do you do when your own map is unwallable? Well, your opponent in the base. The best defense is sometimes an offensive wall, I guess? The interesting thing here, though, is that TaToH has positioned his watchtowers in a super obnoxious way. It's going to take quite a while for the Viper to actually get through this. And crucially, the Viper has the stone to build a castle, but he delayed building it for a while because it would force so much town center idle time, and also he needed a good place to put it. He's going to put it down here now because he needs to remove those 2 watchtowers before he can start chipping away safely at those walls. TaToH, though, if he can get his own defensive, like, mangonels and whatnot, he actually might be able to stall this one in there. He's putting a town center so close to the Viper's own base, but I think his reign of terror slowly coming to a close.
This is a brilliant TC from TaToH, just so far forward, so ballsy. I mean, bold. It's bold. But yeah, TaToH with the Siege Workshop here, he's going to be behind in the mangonel count unless Viper stops production, which I think he is, because he's actually got very little wood right now. Viper on 2 TCs, of course, he does have the castle, and he's training some Chuko Nu, whereas TaToH up on 3 TCs already, wasting no time there. Siege Workshop coming up, and of course, these walls, they're going to keep Viper contained for a little bit longer, but the snake is about to get out, and I think TaToH could be in a little bit of trouble, but oh wait! There's a castle from TaToH here as well. Now, that is going to keep Viper contained a little bit more.
Yeah, that it will. I feel like the strategy works a lot better if you get to the castle age first, and you can have those mangonels out to deny your opponent from pushing. The thing is that he didn't get there first. The Viper did. So, what will TaToH do? TaToH has 2... okay, so he's building the castle right now. The Viper has 2 Chuko Nus. He's not actually building any petards yet. It looks like he's just going to bide his time. I feel like he's not honestly that worried about how long it's going to take for him to get out, because the castle does a lot of chip damage versus those walls, because it fires 4 arrows at the same time. So what's TaToH going to do when those Chuko Nus come for him?
So I was going to say he's going to try and get these mangonels on this left side. Vipers, of course, he's paying attention. But yeah, one of those mangonels getting a little low. Thing is, I mean, TaToH can choose to take the engagement here. He's got a 1-for-1 trade. The castle is up. He has no knowledge of this. That's Viper, that is. He's now broken the wall. But as soon as he comes out here, if he comes out here, this mangonel is going to get flattened here. Outpost from Viper. You got to love these outposts. Wow. He's playing it cautiously. He's like, okay, I don't know what's quite out there. Gonna see if I get some vision first. I'm gonna build the tower and look out from the top just to see what's going on. But I do think that with this castle, you know, Viper's probably chosen the worst place to try and escape his base. You know, directly into this castle here. And Viper's now gonna spot it with that outpost. So, yeah, I mean, for TaToH, he's got to be pulling ahead in economy. There's no doubt about it. 3 TCs versus 2, but Viper. It wasn't a boom after all. It's just a fast Imperial from him.
No,
I love how he can adapt like that.
Right? The Viper, always showing us new strategies, and I have to say, his use of outposts this game has been absolutely immaculate. He's on his way to the Imperial Age, and when it comes to these like castle versus castle fights, I think that's really bad for the Incas in this case, because the Chuko Nus just deal with the Kamiaks quite nicely. You don't really want to make them, unless your opponent's making cavalry units or maybe some weaker infantry. I think the Viper getting the Imperial Age is brilliant, and this means that he gets out the first trebuchet, and that's going to end this stall. TaToH pretty heavily invested in this forward. He's going to lose a town center, he's going to lose a castle, and without being the Imperial Age himself, don't know how he's going to deal with it. He's actually not considering this option at all. Nowhere near the Imperial Age himself, so he's going to get cleaned up, but thankfully, at the back, his economy is really strong. They're actually at approximately the same population. Well, actually, no, they were, but now TaToH is ahead by 10, so this will be an interesting game. He's going to lose his forward, but his eco lead, will that be enough?
TaToH still has quite a bit of stone, so we can stall Viper out for some time by repairing the castle. Bear in mind, once Viper hits the Imperial Age, it's still going to take him some time to be able to train the trebuchet, unpack it, get it attacking the castle. TaToH's going to have the repairs there. Yeah, TaToH is definitely ahead in villas. Bear in mind that basically Viper's on 1 TC right now while he advances to the Imperial Age. He's actually creating no villagers because he's doing handcart as well. So Viper is definitely going to be looking to do a very swift and very well executed attack here, because he is leaving a lot of his economy exposed, or he's going to leave his economy a lot weaker, sorry, in order to do this. So we're going to see another castle from him on the front. And I think he's just going to look to try and bust this castle down as quickly as he can and take the map control. TaToH, though, in the meantime, you know, he is building up very quickly, and he will be clicking to the Imperial Age very shortly as well. 4 TCs from TaToH, no slacker here, as he very nearly clicks up to the Imperial Age. Oh! Nice mangonel shot from TaToH there. Going to delay the castle a little bit. And he's actually got 3 mangonels on the front. If he can trade this mangonel away, he'd actually stop this castle going up. That is fantastic news for TaToH right now. 3 mangonels still alive. And what has Viper got? Chuko Nu? Well, that's not going to end too well. Oh dear.
No, it's not. The Chuko Nu at least fire multiple shots, which better deal with high pierce armor units like that mangonel. But still, all TaToH needs to do, and he knows this, is stall, so that he can get to the Imperial Age, offset this tech discrepancy, and he's doing exactly that. Even forcing a watchtower at the back from the Viper, which is going to get denied too. He has to pull back. The 3 mangonel defense is plenty. The trebuchet will force some inevitability. And in the meantime, this is giving TaToH the space he needs to start going up to the Imperial Age. He's at 25%. He's denied the second castle for now. He's still in this game.
Oh yeah, he is still in this, absolutely. TaToH here actually making a Kameyuk. I don't know if that's maybe a misclick. I wouldn't put that down as the best unit choice right now. But yeah, I mean, castle, it will go up for Viper, and I think maybe that's a mistake from TaToH to bring these mangonels back, actually. I think he should keep them there and delay this castle for longer. But yeah, the castle on the front, I think he's just going to let it go. It doesn't look like he's too interested in defending that and building that. Repairing that here. He's actually opting to build the second castle behind it instead. Still, though, I mean, TaToH is about to hit Imp himself. He's a good 20 population ahead of the Viper now, and by the looks of things, he's probably going to go into skirms. Yeah, Master Ranger's coming up, and the Elite Skirmisher upgrade as well. So, you know, he sees the Chuko Nu, he knows the game plan, and he's going to have to lose his forward. But he kept Viper contained for quite some time, and long enough for himself to get to the Imperial Age and start that Elite Skirmisher production.
So the fun part about this game is how important map control is. TaToH has had the middle for so long, I wonder if this will be enough to really snowball the game. He actually still has map control in the center, and this is huge. The Viper really not getting a good window of opportunity for his Chuko Nus to deal with this. A hill advantage plus mangonels is so strong. And here come the Elite Skirmishers. As soon as the Andean Sling upgrade comes out, they'll have no minimum range, which isn't that helpful versus ranged units, but it sure is helpful versus melee units like that one knight coming out from the Viper. He's going to redeploy these trebs, but crucially, with that castle having the hill advantage, it's going to take longer for it to be destroyed. And now, the Viper has successfully been stalled. TaToH in the Imperial Age, this is looking very, very solid for him. He might be able to hold the line during this fight.
Yeah, castle's now, trebuchet is now deploying on the right-hand side. I've got to say, though, I mean, the Chuko Nu are fantastic at dealing with siege as well, so the mangonels might not have been as effective as perhaps if they were against crossbows here. But still, the Elite Skirms now coming out. Upgrade-wise, Viper's got +3, and TaToH's got +2, so he's yet to get quite caught up in upgrades. TaToH here also going to have to get the repairs on this castle. It's on a hill, sure, but it's not going to stand up to 2 trebuchet fire for that long. Right now, he needs to get his own trebs out. In fact, 3 trebs coming in from Viper. He needs to get his own out. He needs to repair the castle, and he needs to keep this hill. But Viper with a 3rd castle now on the right-hand side. TaToH's got a very short time period to actually do some damage here and push Viper back, because he risks losing the hill now, and that could be really devastating for him.
Yeah, what an interesting game here. This is exactly how I like my gold rushes to be, where one player has a huge advantage. Like, he gets to the Imperial Age first, he's got a stronger army, but he doesn't have map control, and that other player, who should normally be behind, has all that free gold. The Viper is on a clock. He only has a limited supply of gold left in his base, and it's running dry rapidly, so all TaToH has to do is stall. And he's doing that, but the Viper has the offensive initiative. He has 3 trebuchets deployed, he's got the Chuko Nus. TaToH needs to actually get the defense upgrades on his skirms too, and what a dicey situation for him.
Problem for TaToH right now is that he's having to buy stone in order to keep the repairs on this castle going and stall Viper out. He's trying to take down Viper's trebs with his own trebs. Meanwhile, Viper is focusing down the castle, and TaToH's just buying the stone. He's moving villagers out to the right side, and he's spending all this gold on keeping this castle alive, but it could be worth it. Viper seems to be packing up his trebs and going home right now, because TaToH here is keeping that castle alive. Is it worth it to buy the stone to repair the castle? Absolutely, because TaToH still has the center of this map on lockdown. Viper, though, does have a pretty scary number of Chuko at this stage. Even against skirmishers, these guys will perform quite well, at least until TaToH has the fully upgraded skirms here. So TaToH holding on quite nicely, and still Viper here, now mined out on the right side of stone. He's mined out of gold nearly at the back, 25 gold left in that, and his gold on the front is starting to get low as well, about 800, 900 gold left there. Meanwhile, TaToH's got free reign of the center of the map for now, and as long as he can just hold on to this hill, he really stands a good chance of being able to push Viper back. In fact, he's deployed his trebs on this castle now, and with the Chuko out, with the elite skirmishers out, there's no way the Chuko can realistically engage this head on, not with the Chuko having to fight uphill. So what's Viper doing? Going for a counter attack. And that could be the best choice right here, as TaToH is completely undefended at home.
Yeah, if he can pick off some gold miners and really even out this economic discrepancy, that will really bring him back in the game. Meanwhile, on the right side, TaToH does actually have a stone mine that the Viper is not aware of. But right now, the focus is on the middle. That's where the Viper wants to engage. He's going to pick off 2 villagers here. No elite Chuko upgrade for him yet. I believe it increases the amount of arrows they fire, which makes them much better versus elite skirmishers.
Yeah.
So here come the elite skirms. Bracer out for both players. The Viper has max defense upgrades. He has the hill advantage, but no elite Chuko. He's going to have to retreat. Meanwhile, TaToH with the hill advantage in the middle will be able to successfully treb down one of the Viper's castles. The Viper forced to transition into his own elite skirms. He's got siege rams of his own. If he can just keep this army occupied, I think he's just trying to push in and take out these trebs with the siege ram.
Yeah, the problem for Viper here is actually gold right now. He doesn't have access to the gold. Siege Ram coming in for Viper, though, and TaToH has no answer to Siege Rams. This is a great unit choice for Viper. It doesn't cost him any gold to get the Siege Ram upgrade, so it's completely worth it. In fact, TaToH's sending villagers in to fight the Rams right now into the elite skirms. Not the best choice, since those vills will die to the elite skirmishers pretty quickly. About the Chuko, the elite Chuko has 5 arrows, while the standard Chuko has just 3, so they do become quite a lot stronger with that elite upgrade, thanks to the additional damage from each arrow. But the ram rush on the castle here, this is going to be a success, I think. They've got a downhill attack bonus. TaToH's mass retreating away from the center, and that couldn't have gone any worse. Those rams caught him completely by surprise. That castle's going down.
Holy hell, that was such a great play from the Viper. So TaToH had almost what seemed like an insurmountable lead in the middle. So what do? Stage a diversion. The Viper knows that TaToH will have to pull off some of his own elite skirms to chase down that Chuko army or risk losing some of his own eco. And that's all he needed. He needed the army to just go somewhere else, that way he could pressure the middle, because the middle is what really matters in Gold Rush, and TaToH had to defend that. Now the Viper has gold, he's back in this game, and he had to make that happen at exactly that point, because he was running out of gold. TaToH has no answer to these siege rams either. He's going to make a couple of Kameyuks, but man, it was just pulling that army away. He's going to put down a castle here. That's actually pretty risky. We'll have to see if he can hold the line.
Oh man, I feel like TaToH needed Eagle Warriors.
Yeah.
Eagle Warriors right now, straight through the skirms, straight through the rams. That would be beautiful. The problem is, skirmishers are not going to cut it against the rams. And oh wow, that ram nearly getting onto the treb there. That would actually flatten a lot of trebs if it manages to get an attack in. Yeah, the ram rush is just perfect from Viper. It's really the perfect solution. He's also got the trebs now deploying another castle coming forward. And TaToH has no gold miners, no gold income. He's actually pushed off of the gold on the front. Whilst he was taking the gold in the middle, which leaves his secondary gold available still, he can't access it right now. And with a big momentum swing, Viper is going to take the center, and I think he's going to take the game from this position right here.
Wow, those trebuchets being chased by one of the Viper's siege rams. And another part that makes this push so brilliant from the Viper is that by going forward with siege rams, he forces TaToH to take all of his gold miners, not mine gold at all, and then they all have to die just to pick off those siege rams. They're the only unit that did melee damage in that fight. The Viper kind of stealing this game from TaToH out of nowhere. TaToH, as well, with missing some of the defense upgrades on his elite skirms, really does matter in these late-game engagements. Chemistry as well for the Viper. I think onagers are a great choice, but really, it's just he doesn't have the money anymore to safely defend against this. Those siege rams running roughshod over all of TaToH's units.
Yeah, I think this is the thing right now. Siege Ram's just gonna flatten everything at this point. And okay, yeah, the Onager is a great choice, but still, I think it's not enough on its own. It needs supporting units as well. And I think this is going to be Viper's game. 148 population for TaToH, though. He still has a lot of population. In fact, he has a lot more population than Viper. 150 pop versus 133. Where is all that population? It has to be in economy. I can't think of anything else. You must just have a ton of villagers, and also obviously quite a few scams. Now Viper with the castle on the front actually losing that.
What?
The Trebs just going out on their own mission. They've had enough. They're going out on their own. But yeah, I think still TaToH needs gold here, and without it, I don't think he can get a winning composition. With it, I think he could easily push Viper back. He's just got to get access to the gold somehow, and maybe retake the center. That's going to be a monumental task, though.
Yeah, that it will be. Great of TaToH to actually use his idle trebuchets, which he couldn't keep safely at his own base because of being chased by siege rams. Just get a free castle pickoff, and a valuable castle one at that, right at the front. But he still doesn't have a clear answer to these siege rams or any gold income at all. He's on a clock. Critically, though, he was mining gold from the middle for almost the entire game, meaning that he does have his secondary gold mine at the front of his base, but boy, is that precariously positioned. What a weird game. The Viper, though, mixing in some Cavaliers. I love this choice. That beats Trebs, Skirms, and Onagers. Excellent choice from the Viper. TaToH's going to need some helps to deal with this, but really, he just has no gold to get upgrades, and I think that's making a huge difference in these late-game fights.
Yeah, 4 villagers on gold right now for TaToH. It's not enough, and the problem is he can't safely take gold from this gold mine. Still, amazingly, TaToH still has a ton of population, 173 pop for TaToH, Viper on 140. So he's got the population. It's mostly in skirmishes, though, and that's just not valuable when these, oh god, the Cavalier coming in, and they're just going to wreck face right now. All those trebs are going to go down. So many skirmishes are going to be lost. And I don't know if TaToH did Andean Sling, but even still, even with that technology, I don't think it's going to be enough to stop the cavalry rage. So Viper making a critical unit choice here, and that's going to pay dividends. TaToH, though, bringing out the pikes, it's probably a little too late. A lot of that military going down, and still, TaToH might have something here. He's still ahead in population but crucially, he's out of gold, and I don't see how he's coming back in now that Viper is starting to raid with the Cavalier.
Yeah, TaToH just too little too late on that one, but really we can't blame him because he just didn't have the money for it. I'm sure he wanted halbs, and yes, he was saving up gold for that. He has the halberdier upgrade now. He doesn't have Andean Sling for his elite skirms, which would be really helpful here, but it's super expensive. And he's just going to call it GG. The Cavalier were the final unit to put that nail in the coffin, and the Viper turns it around despite not having map control throughout the entire game. So the answer is, how good is the wall quarantine? It's alright.
Pretty alright. I mean, to be honest, it did okay. I mean, it certainly did okay. But all in all, it didn't really contain him for that long. Not long enough, really. If it had been another 4 minutes, I think TaToH could have locked down the center of the map and actually held on. But Viper's post-Imperial, sorry, not post-Imperial, fast Imperial, came in just a little bit too quick for TaToH. And even with a bigger economy, eventually losing access to the gold, it didn't really matter in the end. Interestingly, actually, he did have gold in the back, which I missed. He was mining from a single gold pile there. That was kind of keeping him going for a while. But yeah, ultimately that Viper with the center, the king of the hill, and able to get the GG out of TaToH anyway.
Yeah, I think that the Viper just reacted to that strategy super well with that fast Imperial Age. He didn't even hesitate, and that was such a great play. TaToH had a lot of excellent ones too, and this match was so close until the Viper diverted his army away. What a great game between both players, and this makes me very excited, of course, for the next game in the series.
Yeah, I actually think that crucially, Cavalier here from Viper was the nail in the coffin of TaToH. Just the ability to raid and the ability to break that front line of siege and skirms and trebs, like you said. They're the perfect fit for the job. And the Chinese just so versatile. They really have a lot of options available to them. They're not particularly insane at any one thing, but they really overall, they're like a jack of all trades, master of none in a sense. They do have a little bit of everything and makes them very versatile and very able to counter whatever their opponent's throwing at them. But we're going to throw it to Nilford right now for his analysis of that game.